Hey, 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 it's Terry, Virginia's daughter, and I am back with my finished projects for round 3. Thanks for tuning in today. I'd like to first start off by saying thank you to all of you who have liked my videos, you've subscribed, and you are connecting with my content. That means a lot. And if you haven't subscribed already, you're invited to subscribe, like, hit the notification bell so you know when I upload a video. So let's get into it. I am currently wearing Butterick 7963. This is the first version that I made of this jumpsuit, and you're going to see a second version in this round here. But I just wanted to wear this one because it's, I made it. There are some differences between this one and the one I recently made. This is view A. It's a different view than the other one. I think the one that I made is view D. In any case, you'll notice that the waist, I did the casing a little bit different on this one, so it looks a little different. I still have the pockets. I love the pockets here. The crotch is not as low on this one as it is on the other one, and I don't mind that very much. I know that a low crotch is to some people a sign of ill fit, but I think sometimes it works, and in this case I think it does. I lined this one because it was so thin. This is like a Swiss dot, I think, cotton that I got from Joann Fabrics. I lined it and it feels good. I mean, it gives it a little more drape or whatever that is. A lining makes any garment better, and so I'm glad I did. I did not line the other one. I didn't have to. The reason I lined this one was because you could see the pockets through this fabric. I didn't like the way it looks, so yeah. This is the first item. It's not included in this round, but I just wanted to show it to you. Here's Butterick 7963 that I did in this round. This is the first completed project of round 3. So this particular garment is view B. This is view D. You might notice that the waistline looks different. So there is elastic here and there's a casing in the waistline. Now, I actually did this waistline different. For the waistline on this garment, I followed the pattern directions, which once you insert the elastic, you stitch the casing down. And instead of it being just pressed up, you actually stitch it. So once you press it up or down, I can't remember which way it is in the pattern, you just stitch it. Let's see. Turn bias down along seam press to form casing, stitch in place close to lower edge. So you actually stitch the casing in place. I did this one that way. This one I did not, and I like the way this one looks. I really like this pattern. It's a relatively easy pattern to make. For it not to have any closures at all, I think it's a great pattern. The crotch on this is low, but again, I don't mind it. I think it works with this jumpsuit. Love the pockets, love the flounce hemline. I'd even make view B or A with like a corded back. If you've got this pattern, you got to make it. You got to stitch it up. You'll be satisfied. Yeah, there we have it. Next up is this, I call it a cardigan, but the pattern directions, the pattern description, all I had to do was hem the sleeves here and finish it. Well, I had to add a sleeve too. I think one of the sleeves was out, but this is it. This was one of the situations where I had like 1 yard of fabric or less. You can see here that the border of the fabric is here. I used every little bit of this fabric is what I did. This is item 2. So the next two items come from Simplicity 1466, and this pattern has two tops, a pair of pants, and a skirt. I've made everything from this pattern. This is the longer version of the top. My idea for this was I wanted a white suit, but I didn't want like a traditional white suit with like a jacket. And so this is what I came up with. This is suiting fabric, some type of polyester. I think it has a lot of polyester in it actually. It has a little weave to it, almost like a linen. And here you can just see the hem there. I love this. I really do. I would make this again, honestly. Dark details in the back. I love the way that fits in the back. Now, none of this stuff is ironed, so please pardon me. I would have to send this stuff to the cleaners to have it pressed. This was hard to press anyway. Pants are a little big, just a little loose. I feel as though the top would have been too small back in the day. It's a little snug up here, and I'm not sure what size I cut. I normally have to cut a larger bottom than the top. So this is item 3 and 4, Simplicity 1466. Next up is Butterick 4386, my JLo dress. I like this dress. It's very simple. It has these dark details in the front, a zip in the back. I noticed that I could put a hook and eye closure just to tighten that up a little bit in the back, but I love it. I initially thought that I wanted to put pockets on it, and I actually cut pockets out in this fabric. This is a fabric that was in Virginia's stash, and I decided that would be too blendy, you know what I mean? So then I was like, well, maybe I could put black piping around it and that would be really cute. And I'm like, that's too much work. That was my initial thought. But then when I decided to go with this, because this is two-sided, I couldn't decide on this fabric for this collar or this fabric. And I went with this fabric. You can see this a little bit under, but it's fine with me. Then I thought, well, why not make pockets out of this fabric? And I'm like, I'm trying to finish it. It's been unfinished for I don't know how long, and now I'm trying to add stuff to it to keep it in there. So no, this is it. I will say that the tie is a little floppy, I think. I don't know, maybe not. The way you attach the tie is that you find the center back of the tie. So you fold the tie in half, you find the center back of it. Look at me, I don't even know how to. You find the center back of it and you tack it that way and then tie it. And I thought, well, you could just tie it and tack it, you know, but I mean, it's fine. I guess a little floppy is okay. I added the cuffs. The pattern doesn't have cuffs on the sleeves. I added those myself because that's what the dress looked like. So yeah, this is it. Butterick 4963 something. What did I do with the pattern? Okay, and the last two items for this round of finished projects, round 3, is McCall 7624. I have made this dress 4 times. I made a maxi version with a slit. I made like a pink leopard print that has no slit. The first 2 both have the kimono type bodice. And then these last 2 are the sleeveless ones. It is quite comfortable. The one thing I'll say about this pattern is the bands can be a little bit confusing, and some of the instructions are confusing based on the view that you make. So I think I'm going to go into detail at another time about this, but I found McCall's 7624, every time I made it, something different happened with the bands. I wanted to take extra care to make sure everything was lined up in front. So you have 2 front waistbands that meet this long band here. And for me, it was important to be matched up on either side. And I think at some point I'll show you how I did on that. It does have elastic in the back, but it doesn't seem to matter. You know what I mean? So it's not cinched in at all. It's still like quite a loose fitting dress. Very comfortable. It's very comfortable. I like this dress. I probably will not make any more dresses from this pattern, at least not for myself. This is the final project of this round. This is also McCall 7624, and it's this fabric that I got from Hancock Fabric when they were still around. The store was closing and, you know, everything was on sale. And so I got some makeup on here. This dress has to be washed. This pattern is a 2017 pattern, so it's not that old actually. But I think I'm going to do my take on this pattern since I have made it 4 times, like I mentioned before. I can tell that I used a little thicker interfacing than I did for this one. I tend to use fabric sometime as interfacing, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's like too thick. That's the problem I usually run into when I use fabric as interfacing, because I have a lot of fabric and I'm like, I can just use some of this lightweight stuff to underline or interface, and you know, the majority of the time it works, but sometimes it doesn't. So you have to use caution when you do that. that's not part of it. So here we are, my finished projects for round 3. I have started round 4. Round 4 is going to be 6 tunics and a jumpsuit. I wanted to start round 4 last week, but wasn't able to do it. So I will start round 4 this week. And hopefully I'm going to try to get that done in about a week. So we'll see how that goes. I did get a question about would I be doing finished, unfinished, finished, unfinished. Initially, my plan was to do that. It was to, you know, show you a round of unfinished and then show you the same round of finished. Well, it didn't work out that way. And so I'm working to get it done. And as soon as I get it done, I'll share it with you all. If you have any unfinished projects of your own, what are you waiting for? Join me. Let's get this stuff done so we can move on to bigger and better things. If you watch my videos to the end, you know that I have a Mark Twain quote that I love. And it just talks about when you have overwhelming, like complex tasks, all you have to do is break them into small, manageable pieces and start on them one at a time. I encourage you to start. You'll be glad you did. Just remember, if I can do it, you can too. As always, until next time, take care.